Good morning, everyone. This is Jeffy Kennedy, author of Epic Fantasy Romance. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. Wonderful. Today is Monday, June 5th. Um, beautiful day. Beautiful day here in Santa Fe. Uh, every day is paradise. But uh, but yes, I got to spend a lot of time this weekend out in the garden. My mom said that it looked good on the video on Friday, but I feel like it looks so much better now. It's all cleaned up. I got the whole secret garden cleaned up. I've got the grapevine tamed for the season, so she can bear her grapes in a restrained peace. And then I also did a whole lot on the front. Um, it's always a bit of a conundrum uh, what to do as far as yard work here because we are on an acre and a half of semi-tamed land. Uh, we have the driveway that comes in from the street, and it has what we call the center thing. I don't know what to call it. It's like a little gardeny thing in the center that we made into a cactus garden. Uh, and so then there's stuff on the sides, and then the house actually faces south. So you come in, it doesn't face the street, it faces away from the street. That probably didn't explain it well. Um, the side of the house is to the street. So the garage and the side of the house. But then the front door actually is you go up a little path and across the portal and then the front door to the house, which confuses people, especially delivery people. They are forever wanting to leave packages by our garage door or by our back garden gate, uh, neither of which is fruitful. So, um, my point, and I did have one. Oh, and so then the front is where we sit, and then that's landscaped all along the south side of the house. But then we have a lot of land that goes down even farther south and to the west that is natural landscape, but it does accumulate. It does accumulate brush, which we have to keep kind of cleared out because of fire risk. Some people here mow it down. I do not want to mow it all down. I much prefer the natural vegetation. Also, when you mow it down, what comes back is weeds. It comes back as the exotics and the undesirables. Um, so anyway, so everything outside of the secret garden is a lot of work, I guess is my point. And it's like, how much do I want to delve into uh, cleaning that up? I think I'm gonna have to hire someone to. And I was talking about this last summer, and I never did it because then the rains came. But we have so much detritus from the last few years of really good rain and a lot of vegetation grown up, and now it's dried out. Anyway, you're not here for landscaping in Santa Fe, in the countryside outside of Santa Fe. If I were I don't know, there's probably a thing that, like, if you own a house with land like this, then you should also be able to pay workers to come and clear it off. And I am not that creature. So, but I do have a little flyer from someone who does this sort of thing, and I may call and find out how much would it cost to haul this stuff away. And then I feel like I should haul it away. It's the eternal balance, right? That we talk about all the time. It's apropos for self-publishing authors, even for traditionally published authors. I feel like we all spend this time weighing or spend energy weighing this, like which um, is it better to use your time and do the thing and not have to pay for it, or is it better to pay for it and have the time? Sometimes it can be hard to choose. With gardening in general, I enjoy it, but it's the hauling away of the crap to the dump, uh, the transfer station, as they call it here in New Mexico. Anyway, So it felt like a really good weekend to me. It's doing gardening, doing that kind of manual labor is always a good counterbalance to all the mental work I do during the week. I am past 12,000 words, past scene one on Onira, and and I think I've discovered a little bit more about what it's about. Oh, goodness gracious me. I believe that this may turn out to be the epistolary romance that I was noodling without knowing I was noodling. Well, I knew, but you all, longtime listeners, know that I was thinking a few months ago about epistolary romances, and I went on a kick of reading some. And and I'm sorry, I know of there those of you out there going, what is this? I'm amazed at how many people don't know what an epistolary romance is. Um, Epistolary means that it's told through correspondence, or the romance takes place through the exchange of letters or messages. So yes, I've broken my own rule. Don't you hate that? It's really bad when you're like on a podcast like this or on my Discord or teaching classes and I tell people, okay, so like this is, you don't have to follow this rule because I don't believe in rules. But I will say, but this is my own rule. This is what I always do. Until I don't. Um, I do think that there's something to be said for when you're starting out that you learn to paint by the numbers. You learn to follow the rules. You learn to, and painting's such a great analogy for this. You learn how to paint realistically. You learn how to do perspective and shading and color and to portray what you see as accurately as possible. And then once you know all the rules, once you know how to do it, that's when you can shake it up. And that's when you get into the Impressionism or abstract art or doing deliberate distortions. My internet bounced a little bit, but I think we're okay. Yeah. Uh, Deliberate distortions, just in case that got bumped a little bit. So, so yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that, when like there's, kind of like the old saw of the person looking at like a Picasso or a Jackson Pollock painting and going, my 5-year-old could have painted that. And it's like, yeah, but your 5-year-old didn't actually know what they were doing. They just slapped things on there in 5-year-old glee. Knowing what the rules are and then deliberately breaking them is something else. So at any rate, I have introduced a second POV character at um, at the end of scene one. The beginning of scene two, there's a second character, which yes is not actually breaking rules because I don't believe in introducing POV characters after Act One. Um, why? And I know people do it. I know, especially fantasy authors with 10,000 POVs. Um, to me, it's breaking the contract of the story. If you add a POV character later, it's digging yourself out of a hole by adding a POV character. I think it's cheating. As a reader, I find it disruptive. I don't like it when a totally new character, POV character, walks on stage after I've been invested for the book for 75% or something. Um, but I am a believer in that by the end of Act One, you have all the stakes set, which means all POV characters are introduced. Just wait. A couple years from now, I'm going to totally break this rule, and you all will be here for the moment. I should have like some sort of shame dance, apology dance. So this is a total aside, but I think this is a funny story. And we're clearly on funny stories today, or domestic life, the domestic life of the writer in her natural habitat. So my granddaughter is in 6th grade, and this year for Christmas was the first year that she asked for money. Her older brother has been asking for money for a few years now. But this year she didn't want presents, she wanted money, which I don't like. I like picking out presents and sending presents, but I also want them to have what they want, and I remember what it's like to be that age. So we sent them each a check for $100, which I don't know how this fits into other people's scale of things, but I feel like that's a substantially good Christmas present. So her brother deposited the check, cleared my account. He called, thanked us for it. When he thanked us for it, he says, "Has my sister called you yet?" And I said, "No, no, we haven't heard from her." He's like, "Oh," because he does kind of mind her. So time goes by and she still hasn't called us. She hasn't deposited the check. So in March, we talked to their mother for her birthday, my stepdaughter, and the grandkids are there, and we say hi to them. And I said, "You haven't deposited the Christmas check to my granddaughter," and she says, "That's because she had it in the pocket of her jeans, and her dad washed the jeans, and the check got ruined. But her mother wouldn't let us ask us for a replacement check because she had never called to thank us." Now, if you have been around me for a very long time, I once did a blog post on how hate thank you notes. I really don't like the whole enforced thank you thing. It's like, well, if you give someone a gift, you're giving them the gift because you want to, not in order to extract gratitude from them. So I mean, it's nice when the grandkids call and say thank yous and talk to us and that sort of thing, because of course they're busy and they don't want to talk to us necessarily, which I also understand. But in this case, it was like, I'm not going to interfere with my stepdaughter's parenting, uh, because I believe very strongly in that. That's like, okay, well, this was her choice. And so I said to my granddaughter, "Oh, well, I can, see your mom's point there." And And I said, "But you could always send us a thank you dance video." And she's like, "Well, what would that be?" And because she's a dancer, she does all of this studies dance. And I was like, "I don't know, send us a thank you dance video and we'll send you another check." And her brother says, "Well, heck, I'll do a thank you dance video for another $100." We're like, "Yeah, you're cute." So time goes by. And in May now, I am at, it was while I was at WisCon, my granddaughter texts me and she says, "So what would this thank you dance video have to be like?" And I said, "Well, I think that's entirely up to the dancer." And I'm so amused by this. And so she sends me a video. She decided to do acrobatics, but she sends me a video of her doing flips. It was great. I loved it. And I said, "Well, thank you." Uh, and I was doing things, right. I'm at the con. And she knew I was. She asked me what I was doing, and I said I was at the con. And she was easing her way up to it. Like she had texted me the night before, asking me what I was doing. She'd texted me a couple times in between, just saying hi. So I mean, she's trying to, like be a human being, right? So a little bit later, she like sends me. She goes, "Jeffy," and I was like, "What?" And she said, because I told her I loved the video, and I said, "Well," she said, "Can I get the $100?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I'll mail you a check when I get home." And she's like, "Well, actually, could you send it via Venmo?" Which I don't have. I still haven't set up Venmo, and I need to, because it was like the third time it had come up at the conference. Like when we were all doing dinner and that sort of thing, and you know, at one point there were like seven of us, and I said, "Let me just put it on my card," because they wouldn't split it, and so they were all giving me money, and somebody asked if they could do Venmo, so need to do that. But I'm like, "I don't." I said I could send it via PayPal, and she said, "Well, let me see if I can get this set up." And this is like on I don't know, Saturday night or something, and so we're going back and forth trying to get this set up, and I said to her, "Could you just get your mom to give you the money and I'll send her the check?" And my granddaughter says, "No, because the last time I did that, she got mad at me," which cracked me up. I'm like, okay, clearly we have a pattern of behavior here. And I said, well, why do you need it so badly tonight? And she said, well, that she's going shopping tomorrow. I'm like, okay. So so finally we get the PayPal to work. But I was just so amused by this whole exchange. And she's exactly like her mother was at that age. Always like trying to work the angle, right? Figure out the thing. And I don't remember what got me started on that. And it was an aside. But uh, let me think. Actually, I'm not going to pause since my internet's being a little wonky. I don't want to be able to never unpause again. So, so yeah, I was talking about Onira. I was talking about uh, adding POV characters, changing my mind later. Uh, this book is an excursion for me. It's very different. I did send the opening couple of paragraphs to Agent Sarah, when she asked me if I'd written more on Amethyst Run, and she's so great because she's so respectful of my my indie career too, which a lot of agents aren't. I'm hearing out there that there are still some agents saying that they don't approve of self-publishing and they don't want their clients to self-publish, which just is crazy. That's just, if an agent tells you that, no, that's the good ones know that you are adding to your career and your platform by doing that. So Agent Sarah, when she asked me if I'd written anything more on Amethyst Run because that editor expressed interest but wanted to see the whole manuscript, and I have been. I talked about this some on Friday, being kind of irritated about them wanting to see the whole manuscript. And I was realizing over the weekend that I needed to focus on that they were super enthusiastic about this book and said that they were obsessed with the characters. So that's exciting, right? So anyway, Agent Sarah says, well, I know you have your indie deadlines too. And I said, well, not only did I not write more on Amethyst Run, and I'm not working on my indie deadlines either. I'm writing this whole other book, and I gave her the first couple of paragraphs, and she said it sounded more like literary fantasy, which is interesting and possibly true. So, uh, yeah, uh, but she wants to read it when I'm done writing it, so I need to finish writing it. Um, so that leads me back to my same thing that I've been saying for a long time. I really need to work myself back up to a better productivity level. I've just slowed down writing wise, and some of it is that not I'm not focused enough. I'm not being completely concentrated during my 1 hour writing sprint. I am sometimes going and looking at social media. I'm breaking all of those rules in a bad way, a very bad way. And so this week, this month, I'm not going anywhere this month. My mom decided she didn't want to go to Denver. So I am actually here at home for like the next 6 weeks. And I am going to really buckle down, and I'm going to do my training method of gradually increasing word count every day and not going past that, my sort of training for the marathon approach. So I hope you all are here for it. And I can feel my resistance because I was just sort of thinking and talking at the same time, always a problem. And it's like, no, I need to try to go for 3,000 words today. But I'm going to go back and look at what I've been doing. I think I've been doing somewhere around 1,200 words a day. Yeah. So I want to improve that. So I might shoot for my lowest average and then gradually increase it and try to get myself back up to 3,000 words a day so I can get some of these things written. I know. I do have the cover for Twisted Magic, but I'm not doing a pre-order for it yet until I have some idea of when I can realistically get it finished by. Ugh. So once I get back on track, then I can become a little bit more realistic about my deadlines and my production timelines and see if I can get that pre-order up. I know that you all are waiting. Rogue Familiar audiobook is coming. I've listened to a few of the chapters and that should be coming very soon. And I think that's everything. Yeah. All right. Well, Monday. Hope you all are ready for the week and ready to up your productivity in whichever way makes sense for you and feels good. And I will talk to you all on Friday. You all take care. Bye bye.